Okay, Assalamualaikum and have a good day, everyone. And today we are from Group C. We'll be presenting about waste management in bread industry. So this is our group member, Muhammad Kamal Mujadi bin Kamal Hisham, Amirah Masruina binti Abu Bakar, Chong Yin Hui, Ain Fatini binti Majdi, Nur Karmila binti Khalid, and lastly aku Ahmad Imran bin Ahmad Zaki. Next, table. So this is our table of contents. We will present about background of bread industry, bread making process, and then type of waste produced, and lastly waste management technique. So I will pass to the next presenter to present about background of the bread industry. Okay, so I will be presenting about background of the bread industry. Uh, so our type of product is white bread from Gardenia. Okay, next we will present about bread making process.
Okay, hi. Now I will talk about the process of making the bread. So the first process of the production of the white bread from the gardenia is automatic blending, where the production is taking with the computerized blending of the exact amount of quality ingredients. In this automatic blending process, it will ensure the equal goodness of the every loaf of bread. And the next step is the production of sponge mix, where all the formulated ingredients are added together to form the sponge. And in this production of white bread from gardenia, the ingredients needed are like enriched flour, purified water, yeast, whitening, and also minerals. And the next step is fermentation process. The sponge dough is kept in the fermentation room under controlled temperature and humidity for about 4 hours. And this fermentation process is help the sponge to develop unique bread texture, aroma, and also taste. And the next step is production of the dough mix. The sponge is mixed again with to form the dough. And the next step is dividing process, where the dough is divided into required weight for each loaf of bread. And the next step is rounding, where each piece of the dough is needed at the rounder. So in this rounding process, it is to make sure and allow the carbon dioxide to trap into the bread and will make the bread to develop into soft texture when it is baked later. And the next step is check weighing. Through the check weigher, the two pieces that are over or under the required weight are automatically rejected. And the next process is intermediate proofing, and where the dough is left to rest in the intermediate proofer for about 10 minutes. And next is molding process. The dough is shaped according to the desired configuration of shape. Next, next process is automatic kneading, where the pans that contain the loaf of bread is kneaded automatically to give the bread its uniform rectangular. And next is the final proofing process. In this stage, the yeast is allowed to make the bread is risen further to the desired height. And next, baking of the bread. So yeah, the bread baked in the timer oven for about 20 minutes at 180 Celsius. The next process, the freshly baked bread are removed from the oven by baking suction using this automatic delator and depanner. And the next process is bread cooling, where the fresh baked and hot bread loaf is kept in the bread cooler for about an hour until slightly above room temperature. And lastly, finally, the process of slicing and packaging. So the bread loaf is ready to be sliced and then they put with the attractive packaging using the automatic slicer and bagger. So yeah, that's all the process of the production of the white bread from here.
So I will continue with the types of waste produced by the bread industry, especially white bread products. So the first, next. So the first waste will be produced from the white bread is a raw ingredient. Usually, raw ingredient will be thrown out because of the spoilage, such as flour, sugar, and yeast. Next is a dough. Usually, dough were stuck in the bread machine, such as blending and mixing and a rounding machine. Okay, so next is the bread crust. Bread crust is usually will found at oven due to the baking process. So next is the rejected bread. So rejected bread will be found at a quality control process due to due to a burnt bread. And next is old bread product. Old bread product were written due to the unsold bread, and they will return to the bread factory. And next is a packaging material such as paper, plastic, boxes, and the lastly is the water. So water is the main waste in every food industry. So that's all for the process waste of the bread industry.
Okay, next I will explain about the waste management technique that are suitable for each of the waste byproduct. For all the solid waste, like I just explained, we decided to dispose it by using a sanitary landfill. It is a design structure built into or top of the ground in which trash is isolated from the surrounding environment. Okay, next slide. The reason that we choose sanitary landfill is because all the solid waste in making white bread is a non-hazardous solid waste. Therefore, it is suitable to using landfill as it will not causing damage to the land. Besides, sanitary landfill will not causing air pollution as it is designed, site, operate, regulate and monitor in a safe and environmentally responsible manner. Moreover, using sanitary landfill, it will give an economic benefit for the industry as it is low in cost. Okay, next slide. This is the overview for the wastewater treatment in white bread making process. It consists of preliminary, primary, secondary and tertiary treatment. First of all, I will explain for the preliminary treatment part. So next slide. The first step is screening, which basically to remove the coarse particle in the influent first. And then the second step is by separate the fat, oil and grease. As normally the wastewater in bread making process contain high amount of this organic compound, this step generally to reduce the difficulty in the subsequent biological treatment. The third step is a flow equalization and neutralization, which is to meet the peak discharge demand. A decrease in pH and a bad odor are common problem during the operation. Okay, next, the fourth step, which is acidification, which is to help to break down any remaining fat, oil, and grease by adding sulfuric acid to keep the pH at an optimal level. The fifth step is the coagulation and flocculation. Basically, recoagulation is used to destabilize the suspended solid, meanwhile flocculation is used to grow the destabilized and suspended solid so that the suspended solid become heavier and larger enough to settle down. It is by addition of chemical like alum and ferric chloride. The next step is a sedimentation. The working mechanism is based on the density difference between suspended solid and the water, allowing the suspended solid with larger particle size to move to more easily settle. Okay, the next step, which is the last step for preliminary treatment, is next slide. Is a dissolved air flotation. Is by pumping compressed air bubble, and because of this sudden reduction in pressure, air bubble form and rise to the surface in the tank. Therefore, the suspended solid, fat, oil, and grease add higher to the fine air bubble and carried upward. Generally, preliminary treatment are to remove the suspended solid, fat, oil, and grease, control pH, and precondition the wastewater to level optimum for primary or biological treatment.
Next, I will explain about the primary and secondary treatment of wastewater. First, the primary treatment includes the fat and grease removal and sedimentation to remove the suitable solid and the organic matter. It also involves the sedimentation tank, or known as the primary clarifier. When the water flows through the system, the sludge will sink to the bottom, and this sludge is then collected in a hopper and pumped out for removal. Next slide. For the secondary treatment, there are two options, which are the activated sludge process and tricking filter. First, I will explain about the activated sludge process. It consists of aeration tank, final sedimentation, and excess sludge treatment. The process of activated sludge process are: first, the effluent from primary treatment will be pumped and mixed with a bacteria-rich slurry. Then the oxygen will be pumped through the mixture. It then goes to the secondary settling tank, where water is siphoned off the top of the tank and sludge is removed from the bottom. Then some of the sludge is used as an inoculum for primary effluent, and the remaining sludge, known as the secondary sludge, is removed and added to the primary sludge, and they are subsequently anaerobically digested to produce the fertilizer. Next. Next slide. For the tricking filter, slide before. For the tricking filter, it consists of a thick bed of rocks, cooked gravel, or plastic media, and forming a layer for microbial slime to grow. The process of tricking filter is the microorganisms will attach on the solid media and form a layer of biofilm. Then the organic pollutants are absorbed to the biofilm surface. The oxidation reactions will occur and then produce the end product, such as the water, carbon dioxide, and nitrate. Next slide. I will also explain about the comparison of activated sludge process and the tricking filter. The advantage for the activated sludge process is it needs low installation cost, while for the tricking filter, the energy released from the oxidation together with the organics can be used for the maintenance of microorganisms. And the disadvantages for the activated sludge process are it needs a large area for installation, and sometimes the supernatant has higher turbidity can affect the end effluent water quality. While for the trickling filter, the excess growth of microorganisms can cause the serious blockage in the medium and reduce the porosity. Since this both processes have their own advantages and disadvantages. The bread industry can choose the suitable process that suit the condition in the wastewater treatment. Next, I will pass to the next person to talk about the following treatment.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So my name is Kamal. I will be presenting about tertiary treatment. So in the tertiary treatment, there will be process in effluent from secondary receives advanced treatment. This treatment will infection and also clean water discharge. Advanced treatment involves neutralization, coagulation, adsorption, and also ion exchange. While disinfection involves chlorination, UV light radiation, and also ozonation. So next, I will talk about the sludge treatment. So in the sludge treatment, it is mainly an anaerobic digestion where it produces biogas with high methane, which can be used in generators to generate electricity. Sludge is moved into thickening tanks that permits it to settle down and later separates in from the water. The remaining water is then collected and then taken back to the aeration tanks for the treatment. So that's all. I will pass back to Engku.
Okay, so the conclusion for this presentation is solid waste sanitary landfill is suitable for bread industry because the waste from the bread is non-hazardous solid waste, and also it will not causing air pollution, and also is operate and regulated in a safe and environmentally responsible manner. So that's all from us.